was thinking about that because one of my family members said it, and I thought it was maybe too much. One of my family members said, you should write like an autobiography or a memoir of the stuff that you do. And I was like, no, who's gonna read it? I was like, who's gonna read that? And they were like, no, but you should like just write it in a more diary-esque way, quickly for yourself, or record yourself like once a week talking about how that week went and just like leave logs. And I was like, ooh, I like that. And then when something major happens, just talking about it and leaving that log. I was thinking about that and I was like, maybe I should do a up until now long recording and just go over a bunch of stuff, get some sort of software that I could just transcribe it, and then there you go, right? I think it'd be good. I don't know. I like having discussions where I peel back the curtain a lot, but I feel like when I start getting into like business or streaming talk, sometimes I like to I'm self-aware as I'm talking, and I'm like, I'll cut this one short because I feel like, well, this isn't for everyone. But then as I talk about it, usually people ask a lot of questions, so like maybe it is. I don't know. So maybe doing it as a separate thing, recording it and then just like leaving it somewhere for people is easier. Maybe. I don't know. Or anything that I can't publicly talk about, leaving a record of me talking about it at the time, and then should it be able to be talked about later, instead of having to go back in my memory and be like, oh, what was that like? Instead, having like be like, oh, here it was at the time would be nice. You know what I mean? Because as time passes, I mean, things get really jumbled. Your emotions toward things change a lot, you know? So I think that'd be good. That'd be cool. It's interesting to hear about how you approach this from a creative and business perspective. Yeah, I was thinking about it for especially the company stuff that I'm doing, you know. I think that would be nice to log all of that. I don't want to necessarily turn my Twitter into a full devlog, you know. Like I don't necessarily want to do that because then it also strays away from the other stuff. But I think I'd like to have like some, right? See how it's received, but have some updates and things, just talking about how it goes and what it's like. I thought it'd be interesting. I don't know, talking about how a lot of that stuff works, because you know, for me, really, something that's like endlessly frustrating. Not that it's super serious. I don't get like insanely frustrated, but it's always a little frustrating to see. Is that anytime I see people commenting on any of these business ventures anytime, either talking about when it's like stuff that I'm doing or stuff that other companies are doing or whatever, 95%, and I'm not exaggerating, 95% of the comments that I read of people being like, oh, I bet they're doing this, oh, I wonder if something, whatever, just conjecture, like they're just incorrect, or they're saying something that I'm like, that makes sense, but that's not how this works, or something, right? Like they're just lacking a lot of information. And I've realized when talking to other creators, they also don't know a lot of this stuff, which is why a lot of problems happen, is because they also don't know how a lot of this stuff works. So I'm like, maybe it would be good to leave little logs occasionally of like, oh, here's how I approach this. Here's how this works. Let me explain that thing. Because they don't know either, which is like, yikes, you know, it's a little scary. So I don't know. But I think it would be good to leave some sort of record of, you know, here's how I approach this. Maybe also help, because I just like to help out if I can. But if anyone else had some sort of business venture that they were trying to go into, maybe me talking about certain topics would help them not fuck it up or get fucked over. Maybe, you know. So is the hope. It could be a podcast, but I think a lot of the people that understand how business works like to talk about it, that stuff, are actually on Twitter. They're just in other pockets of Twitter that, you know, maybe the VTubing space is not interacting with so much. But I think they're there, genuinely.
Here's how to set up a fucking spreadsheet.
I wouldn't do the stuff like that they could easily Google. I would do the stuff I think that requires a little industry knowledge, because the information's not out there. Only misinformation is out there, actually. I see people talk about sponsorships all the time, especially like when I launched my thing or publicly announced the thing, and people started talking about sponsors and how they work in other companies. I genuinely, 95% of anything I see people type, even if they're typing positively about stuff, you know, all of it is just like incorrect or misinformed, which is a little spooky for me to sit there and read through, you know, because I'm like, oh, they can't even tell what my company is because they don't know how any of this works. I see them trying to compare it sometimes to certain things, and they're like, oh, so it's like this, and I'm like, no, but they don't know what anything is, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh shit, maybe it'd be good to explain some a little. I don't know. Every time I've onboarded, you know, like another creator to all of this stuff, I've had to go through and like completely explain how a lot of this stuff works. And I've had to have so many creators explain to me what they've been doing this far. I go like, what has your experience been? Just so I know, like, I'm caught up on you and what you do, right? And I have them explain how all their back-end business experience has been, what they've done. I've worked with these people. I've tried this stuff before. Here's how I usually do that. And like so many of them have been led astray is the best way to put it. Very led astray. So yeah, maybe it would be good to talk about some of that stuff with people so that they can be a little better informed, because I don't know. The worst is getting, sometimes it's not intentionally tricked, but the worst is getting tricked or having like a bad scenario happen with your business because you didn't know something, but then also there was no way for you to ever know, right? Like the real proper info was never even out there to begin with. I even see some YouTubers that are like, oh, I'm an advice for streamers YouTuber or for creators YouTuber, right? And that's the kind of content that they create. And then they talk about sponsorships and some things, and they give advice that I think isn't good sometimes. And I'm like, ooh, but that's the only information that's out there. So a little scary. Or maybe their advice is baseline, like not necessarily wrong, but not the good way to do a thing. It's a very good way to not get treated right or something, you know what I mean? Or like not make what you should or blah, 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 blah. I don't know. So maybe that would be good. But I don't want to change my whole Twitter into some business advice Twitter, you know what I mean? That's what I always struggle with. I'd love to put out that info. Maybe Twitter, if you have like premium, they let you write articles. Maybe I do that. Maybe occasionally make a big one, a fat one, and put info in there instead of posting about it constantly or something, I don't know. Would you prefer someone who's at 0% knowledge or they have knowledge but misinformation? Oh, 0% knowledge. I'd rather someone come to me and have no preconceived notions, nothing, and go, I want to know how this works. And I go, okay, and I can explain it from scratch, because undoing stuff is really hard. Sometimes they'll tell you what they know and you undo, the stuff that's incorrect, and you kind of replace it with like better information, or you tell them, oh, that worked like that because of this, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean that they can just off the dome tell you every little thought they have in their head, every formulated opinion on it when you ask them to, right? It's a long process. It takes time. And with working with people, you like slowly uncover more and more things where you're like, oh, we got to unteach that too, right? So I would rather people have no information than come to me very misinformed and have to undo, which is a lot of what I've been doing is helping people understand. Or sometimes someone got scammed and they didn't think they got scammed because they thought that it worked that way. And they're like, but everyone says this thing. And I'm like, what? And I have to like tell them that that's, actually that's not legal or whatever, right? It's so much. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that in like the workplace, where it's easier to do from scratch than to redo a lot of the time. That's how I feel mentoring UX designers right out of college. Yeah. Whenever you're working with new graduates in any field. Or it could be someone who came from another job, but the way that other workplace did stuff was just not good. But that's what they know, right? The wildest part of training someone is finding out all the ways you've never thought of to do it wrong. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. And then you feel like a really big sense of responsibility to fix that, right? To help that. Because someone just not knowing and asking questions is so much more easy to deal with than someone doing it wrong confidently, right? I don't know. I want to do that in the streaming and content and influencer sphere, kind of help people out there, because so much of it is, I don't know, the more stories I hear from people, the more I feel like it's insanely predatory. All of it. It's insanely predatory. And it's a very trust no one kind of space where you have to do your own research, aggregate a lot of different opinions, a lot of different information, and you still won't know everything. It's tough. I don't know. That's why I'm like, I just want to build a tool. That's why I really didn't want to make, everyone's going, oh, you should make a talent agency, or you should make something like that. And I kept saying, I really don't want to, because I was like, I would love if you trusted me, but also we need to not keep being like, I'll do it right. Trust me this time. Like how many times can people do that? Maybe you land on a good one, but it's like more of the same, right? Instead, I was like, let me make a system, because the system will just tell you exactly what happened. You'll be like, can I get this information? And it will spit it out. There you go. And you know what I mean? Like, people can't trick each other like that. So